is now a Monday, so that means HardLeft, HardRight, the thing that I got the most right last week and the thing that I got the most wrong last week. And let's go with the right first. And maybe this is going to sound confusing, but the thing I got the most right last week, the way people talk about Bo Nix. Listen, Bo played like crap on Thursday. And that immediately let everybody come in and say, see, we're justified. He can't play well. He's not good. He's this, that, and the third. And everybody was out. It was kill Bo Nix Day on Friday. Look at his feet. Look at his arm. Look at his age. He's dumb and he's stupid. This is literally the kind of commentary that surrounds him. Mind you, the kind of commentary that surrounds Bo Nix is he played, you can't even call him a young quarterback because he had all those starts in college. We call Jaden Daniels a young quarterback, and he had a bunch of starts in college. He played 5 years in college. We call Michael Penix a young quarterback, and he had all those starts and years in college. And they're literally all the same age. But I guess we're only going to use that against Bo Nix because we don't like Bo Nix. Again, when I said he was Lamar Jackson, I did not say it from a play level perspective. I did not say it from a peak perspective. Obviously, I don't ever believe Bo Nix will be a two-time MVP, one of the two best quarterbacks in football. I don't. I think Bo has a chance to be a really good quarterback. I think he can do a lot of really good things with this team, with this roster, with this organization. I don't think he's ever going to get close to the peaks of Lamar Jackson as a player, but just the way people talk about him. Again, Colin said trade him. Or not trade him, sorry. Colin said Denver should draft another quarterback. He's regressed so badly. Take a deep breath. Calm down. It's okay, guys. Because you're going to watch it flip. Because this is the ultimate narrative game coming up for Bo. It's the ultimate narrative game. No game has a chance to be more narrative defining than this upcoming week. And Bo, post the Chiefs, might and probably will throw up another clunker. He will probably have another game where we all look and go, see, it's not there. I don't see it. I don't like it. But if he comes out and he plays well against the Chiefs, which you remember last season, he played well against the Chiefs, threw a couple of touchdowns. Cortland beat Trent McDuffie on the play down the field, and Denver would have beaten the Chiefs if not for a blocked field goal. Bo played really well. If he comes out and plays really well and beats the Chiefs, all of this, Denver's the worst 8-2 team in NFL history. Bo Nix isn't good. Oh, they're a bunch of frauds. Look at that's all going to, you're going to have videos that are, because it was Thursday, they're going to be 10 days apart, but would have been 7 days apart had they been on regular weeks. And yeah, this is beating Kansas City. They'd have to beat Kansas City coming off a bye. We all know Andy Reid's record coming off a bye. How could you ever do that? If they beat the Kansas City Chiefs, and I think they absolutely have a chance, because when is Patch, and some of the stuff I need to say for tomorrow, because I'm not really trying to do game analysis, but like, pressure hurts the Chiefs. The Broncos are in a league of their own when it comes to pressure. And if Bo and the offense scores in the mid-20s and they look good and they beat the Chiefs, you are going to see a narrative 180 that is so insane. Because all of these people that have said someone said, I think there's 25 other quarterbacks that would be better than Bo in that situation because of the offensive line and the defense. I think that's insane, but this is the kind of commentary and this is the kind of narratives that surround Bo Nix. It's Brock Purdy on steroids. It's Jalen Hurts on steroids. It's Lamar. It's all these quarterbacks who have been like, oh, you had a good situation or drafted a good organization, but I don't like you because my draft board I had really low. No. You can't be the guy. Again, at the end of this season, Bo's going to lead them, all of his quarterback class, in yards, touchdowns, wins, and he's going to be the only guy that makes the playoffs both years, year one and year two. And again, if you want to take Caleb Williams because of the talent, fine. I don't begrudge you. If you want to take Jaden Daniels because of the talent, fine. I don't begrudge you. But the narrative and the way people talk about Bo Nix, it was just inflamed. It was all over the place. And I said so last week. No, he is the most, because again, we talked about the end of last hour. Jordan Love is doing something really similar to Bo. He's got a great defense. He's got a good offensive line. He's got a great head coach. And we've seen him put up clunkers against Cleveland and Carolina. And no one's talking about Jordan Love. And no one talks about or discusses Jordan Love the same way they discuss Bo Nix, because he wasn't the sixth quarterback taken in his draft class. He wasn't a guy who we've seen transfer to multiple colleges. He was just a guy who went to a smaller school than Bo did at any of his stops and sat by Aaron Rodgers for a couple years. But we don't discuss those two the same. We don't discuss anyone the way we discuss Bo Nix. Bo is either completely terrible, useless, cannot be, not just forget franchise quarterback. He shouldn't even be your starting quarterback. You should go trade draft picks to get somebody else. And that's all going to be based off. And I said last week, the game that matters, the same way I said for Jordan Love, the game that matters, Jordan Love needs to beat the Eagles or play well against the Eagles, because those are the teams that we actually need to see you play well against. You don't play well against Cleveland, fine. Cleveland has maybe the best player in the sport, has a really good defense, and they can make you struggle and look really bad for a week. Cool. Okay, bet. What they then have to do is play well against teams that you know you're going to see in the playoffs. So yes, did Bo play terrible against the Raiders? Yes, he did. But if he plays well against the Chiefs and they get a win, guess who you have a chance of seeing in the playoffs? And by the way, the entire NFL, if you're somebody who just lives in perpetual fear of the Chiefs because you've seen this dynastic run they're on, the entire NFL should be Bronco fans this weekend. Because if the Broncos beat the Chiefs and put the Chiefs at 5-5, and then the Chiefs have to play Indianapolis, which they could absolutely lose that. Again, I've been on the record. Chiefs lose 3 straight games. I tweeted it out. But on the record, if you're scared, if you're Baltimore and you think you're going to get in the playoffs, but you're worried about Kansas City, or you're Buffalo and you know you're making the playoffs, but you're worried about Kansas City, you should be a Bronco fan this weekend, and then a Colts fan the following weekend, because you could potentially keep the Chiefs out of the playoffs. Think about that one. So, yes, my HardRight is 1,000% the way they talk about Bo Nix. And again, Bo didn't play well. So this isn't like a victory lap of I told you so. This is a recognition of the conversation and dialogue around a certain player because of where he was projected to be. So, HardRight, Bo Nix. Moving on to HardLeft, and I'm okay with doing this. And I apparently have a thing where I just should not criticize Indiana-based teams. Because I said the Pacers last year, I had no confidence in them heading into the playoffs. I said they were going to lose to the Bucks, who I'm going to make another terrible Bucks playoff prediction, by the way. Giannis is one of my favorite players ever, and he is just on a roll. I don't think the Bucks are very good, but Giannis is the fucking man. But I had no belief in the Pacers, and I started off this season having no belief or faith in the Colts. And weirdly enough, I didn't get faith in the Colts because of wins. I didn't get faith in the Colts because of the points they were scoring and how they were more prolific than the 2007 Patriots, which I never really believed that either, which that has come down, which makes sense. But I got a lot of faith in the Colts because of last week's loss. And then it helped stumble into this week's win, or rolled over into this week's win. So there's a handful of games, and I know we've talked about style points today, and I don't really care about your style points and wins. I do care how you look in losses. I think how you look in losses actually tells me more about a team than the way that you look in wins. Meaning, does it look hard to beat you? The Chiefs, it looks hard to beat the Chiefs. Even when they lose, we're like, Jacksonville had to get a 90-plus yard pick six. The Eagles had to basically false start on a handful of tush pushes. The Chargers look like they played their best game of the season. Like, it looks hard to beat Kansas City. The Niners, when they've been on, not so much this year because we've had some of the injuries, but when the Niners, they went to those 2 Super Bowls in 4 years, it looked hard to beat the 49ers. They beat you up physically. They always had one of the best records, which Denver seems to have it this year, which is teams after playing the 49ers. The Texans became just the second team to win, by the way, and they had that huge comeback to win post playing the Broncos. And the Niners, for those couple of years, teams were always losing post playing the Niners. So does it look hard to beat you? And the Colts played the Steelers, and the Steelers got 5 sacks and 5 turnovers and only won by 7. That's tough. That's tough. It's one of my few. It's why New England, where I would say New England has skated with a really easy schedule, but it looks hard to beat New England because New England again looks like similar to the Belichick Brady era. They're not going to beat themselves. McDaniels and Drake May are not going to lose the game. And the one game they lost to the Steelers, they turned the ball over 5 times. Some of those felt like they weren't really forced, and they still barely lost that game, which also might be a depiction of Pittsburgh, that they can get 5 turnovers and they're still barely beating teams, which is why I don't have a ton of faith in Pittsburgh. But Indianapolis, those losing by 7 when you turn the ball over 5 times feels like, okay, this team's for real. And I have doubted them. I have doubted Indiana Jones. I have doubted I like Shane Steichen as a head coach, but I've just basically doubted Daniel Jones. And I was worried about a running back-led team because we've seen the other running back-led teams, and it looks good for a while, but it always feels like they're not pro. They are almost feel destined for injury. Like the Niners, you see they're a running back-led team. You see all the injuries. The Ravens are a running-led team. You see all the injuries they accumulated. It just feels like running-led teams, because they play so physical in the brand of football, that it always leads to more injuries. But I was super impressed with the Colts last week and then this week, which is this week they had every reason to lose this game. They're in Germany. It's super early in the morning. They're off. They're playing the weirdest team in the NFL, the Atlanta Falcons. Everything that could go wrong could go wrong. It was not a very clean game. They end up squeaking it out in overtime. Jonathan Taylor, 240 yards. It was a really, really impressive football win. Like, again, I am more impressed by the Colts losing that game and then winning in the style they did than even a team like Seattle, who I'm impressed, but beat down a Cardinals team that's on its backup quarterback. And the reality is your backup quarterback, when they're not playing the Dallas Cowboys, looks drastically different. So Seattle is obviously a powerhouse. They're one of the best teams in the league. But I was more impressed by Indianapolis this last 2 weeks than I was Seattle. Even though Seattle had a dominant win, just smacked Arizona up and down the field. So I been super impressed these last 2 weeks with the Colts. And because of that, you're going to see that also reflected in the power rankings tomorrow. Yes, Colts fans, you can stop being upset and annoyed. You guys are just, spoiler, you guys are going to be in the excellent tier. I would love if Jonathan Taylor, I thought, had a real shot to win MVP, but I just don't think they're going to do it. I just don't think they're going to do it. Should he be? Yes, but I don't. We'll talk with Tony about it a little bit tomorrow. I just don't think they're going to give it to him, man. It's tough. It's tough for a running back to get that award. So HardRight, Bo Nix, HardLeft, Indianapolis Colts. I'm just not good at apparently analyzing Indiana-based sports teams. Sorry, guys. I was wrong about the Pacers. I was wrong about the Colts. Maybe next year we'll try the Fever during WNBA season. I mean, if you want to be a part of one of the coolest and most unique communities, don't forget to like and subscribe.